This is the KhoodeelaarTV television channel being broadcast on the internet under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo Manifesto editions. This is timed at 23:30 and being broadcast exactly at 23:30 GMT on Wednesday, the 3rd of July 2024. Wednesday, the 3rd of July. That is literally the eve, the evening before the general election that takes place in about 7-8 hours' time on Thursday, the 4th of July 2024. The trial murder in Tower Hamlets of a woman, 24-year-old Suma Begum, by the 46-year-old man being described as Aminan Rahman. That must be a mistake. There is no such word called Aminan. It must be Aminur Rahman, but whatever the reason for that spelling, that is the spelling. So the man is 46-year-old and he has been convicted of 3 counts of murder of Suma Begum. The murder took place in the Docklands in Tower Hamlets. Docklands is Isle of Dogs, mainly dominated now by the Canary Wharf and the other extensions of the City of London architecture and buildings. According to the reports, the marriage between the two of them took place over the telephone in an Islamic marriage, apparently. And the man will be sentenced later this month. It happened apparently because Suma Begum was having an intense online relationship with a man of her own age, which is actually 24-year-old, who was living in the United Arab Emirates or somewhere in the Middle East over there. And the actual murder, apparently, according to the reports published on BBC Online, the murder was video recorded on TikTok, I think, by Suma Begum's alleged online lover in Middle East. Now there are so many issues that are involved in this particular, what the policewoman leading the investigation into the murder described as jealous rage. The murder in jealous rage. This raises so many questions, including the one about the migration into the United Kingdom of people from Bangladesh, an aspect of which Keir Starmer, the political murderer of the Labour Party, was seriously condemned for getting so wrong, because according to the evidence, the numbers of Bangladeshi illegal immigrants currently anyway in the United Kingdom is very, very, very small indeed compared to the counterparts from other parts of the world, Asian countries and African countries. And yet Starmer decided to name Bangladesh as being one of the countries of origin of illegal migrants who were then not being deported in sufficient numbers, according to Starmer. So Starmer obviously got all of these wrong. And now, Tower Hamlets, the River Lee, the Docklands, Bangladesh, Islamic marriage, the age difference between the husband who murdered the 24-year-old Suma Begum. It is quite astonishing that people, whoever her family were back at the time when the marriage took place over the phone, people still believe, and I'll expand on the word still later in a few minutes. People in Bangladesh still believe that if a member of their family went to the United Kingdom, came to the United Kingdom or a Western country, then the standard of safety and respect for life would have been much higher by that fact alone. Now, the Bangladeshis, in the context of the East End of London, Brick Lane, Tower Hamlets, the KhoodeelaarTV campaign is the campaign that I established with K. Jordan in December 2003, that is 20 years before this murder took place, to defend the community in the East End of London. That defense actually involves the training, the educating of people back in Bangladesh itself about the reality of life and the murders among the Bangladeshis in the United Kingdom. There are several outlets, each one of which is boasting that it is the most widely followed outlet of Bangladeshi controlled kind of media publication. None of these outlets is actually doing the job. None of these is actually discharging the duty to tell people in Bangladesh itself and educate people who come here from Bangladesh, that is, come to the United Kingdom, that mutual respect must be given the highest priority, the most paramount importance. But none of the institutions that the United Kingdom state recognizes, including the mosques, none of these institutions is doing the job. In fact, the controllers of the mosques in Tower Hamlets are themselves corrupt and criminal, as has been publicly stated for more than 10 years now, about the fact that these 4 girls from Bethnal Green were groomed. These girls were groomed by the operation of what was referred to as the Sisters Forum. Now, the word forum is linked with the Islamic Forum of Europe, which is a deception in order to mislead people into thinking that the former Jamaat-e-Islami operating in East London through the East London Mosque had ceased to function. So the Islamic Forum Europe was a corrupt bid to deceive people into thinking that the Jamaat-e-Islami operation had ceased. It doesn't matter whether it ceased or not. The fact is that the Jamaat-e-Islami, right from the beginning of its inception, has operated as a secret society, as a kind of Freemasons. The Freemasons are secretive, totally, severely not accountable to the Muslim Ummah. Ummah is the community. So when the first migration began to the United Kingdom from mainly, in my understanding and knowledge, mainly from Ceylon, because of the connection with the seaman, well before the 1947 events that created the Republic of India and Pakistan, August 1947. People who came from what is now Bangladesh or became East Pakistan came mainly from Ceylon. And the assumption was that the standard of life and the standard of respect for life in the United Kingdom was much higher than it was back in Ceylon. Well, that's not the case, because going by the behavior of the Town Hamlets Council in relation to allowing the brainwashing of these children, Shamima Begum and the other three girls, by the Sisters Forum, directly and indirectly, the Sisters Forum openly, brazenly, callously, cruelly sending these children to be exposed to brazen sexual exploitation in an actively ongoing war in Syria. So the people actually who were responsible for organizing this so-called Islamic marriage over the telephone of Suma Begum and Amina and Rahman obviously did not think about the age gap, 46 and 24. That is twice the age. The man who married Suma Begum was obviously twice her age. And the people who gave her in marriage to that man and let her go to the United Kingdom, that is, come to the United Kingdom, sent her to her murder, because they didn't check the implication and the impact of all of those things that did happen. We shall be talking about this in other editions in more detail and bringing up to date the actual role of the Town Hamlets Local Council in exposing Shamima Begum and the other three children, all girls, into virtual rape, a regime of rape under the name of Islamic whatever. Now it's only about 16 minutes now before the date of the 4th of July comes on. And by the time the election campaign so-called finished, the amount of pressure by the Conservatives in a dual way on Starmer, the name, the image, and Nigel Nasty Farage reached the peak. Quite how that will impact on the actual turnout and the turned out people's voting behavior, the casting of the ballot, will not be known until after the elections results are out, probably by Saturday. So today, we are still on Wednesday, the 3rd of July 2024. Thursday is the 4th of July, and Friday the 5th of July when the voting will be counted. And the counting will take, in some cases, it will take longer than it will in other cases, other constituencies. And a comprehensive result will be known by midday on Saturday, the 6th of July 2024. We shall be catching up. This one is just 16 minutes long, this video. We shall end this one at now, 16 minutes.